Hand injuries can be especially traumatic, stripping away not only one's ability to work, but also the ability to perform activities of daily living. However, hand injuries, like the vast majority of workplace injuries, are preventable. Still, year after year, hands are the most frequently injured body part. Therefore, a heightened awareness and emphasis on hand safety is a necessary priority for our industry. An employee had a self-dumping hopper on the forks of his forklift. Prior to releasing the hopper, he placed his hand between a fork and the steel channel frame that held a self-dumping hopper. When he released the hopper and channel tipped forward. His hand was then pinched between the channel and the fork, resulting in an amputation of one of his fingers. The employee was not aware of his hand placement, and he did not consider the potential hazard when he placed his hand between a fork and the steel channel. Hand awareness and injury prevention begins with a recognition and respect for hand hazards. Common hand hazards in our industry can include sharp objects, hand and power tools, hot objects, pinch points, chemicals, energy sources, and moving equipment and machinery. How many times have you grabbed a sharp object or touched a hot surface? Felt pain in your hand because of how you were gripping a tool or twisting your wrist? How many times have you come close to getting your hand or finger caught or crushed, or had your skin come in contact with a chemical or caustic material? If you can think of even one time for any of these, it is one time too many. There are many hazards that can result in a hand injury, such as punctures, cuts or lacerations, crushed, fractures or amputations, strains, sprains, and other musculoskeletal injuries, burns, or dermatitis and other skin disorders. Because hands are used so frequently, there is a potential to take them for granted and not truly respect the potential risk we place them in. Be familiar with the types of tasks you perform and the hazards you may be exposed to. Think of your hands as valuable. Your hands are superbly designed tools of amazing strength and dexterity. They can pinch, grasp, twist, lift, hold, and perform a wide variety of tasks. Think of your hands as vulnerable. Your hands and fingers are a complex system of bones that can be damaged very easily and take a very long time to heal. The primary way to maintain hand awareness and avoid injury is to ensure that hands are kept out of the danger zone while a work task is performed. Most hand injuries occur when we stop thinking about safety, when we do not accurately assess the risk, or when we lack awareness of the position of our hands and one strays into a danger zone. Maintain good hand position to avoid hazards and be constantly alert to where your hands are positioned. Do not position your hands where they can be cut, punctured, burned, pinched, or struck by objects. An employee was helping a coworker change a bandsaw blade. As the employee manually moved the saw wheel, he misjudged the speed of the tuning wheel, which caused his hand to become caught in a pinch point, resulting in a fracture. Be sure to watch out for pinch points and keep hands and fingers clear at all times. It may seem like common sense, but far too often we risk injury to our hands and fingers when we assume equipment is not going to move or shift. We must anticipate movement and keep our hands and fingers out of pinch points. Handling and positioning of materials often result in trapped or crushed fingers and hands. Many companies have developed hands-free policies, such as the use of no-touch tools, which are designed to keep your hands a safe distance from a potentially hazardous situation. If used properly, they will keep your hands and fingers out of the danger zone. The selection of proper hand tools is crucial for preventing hand and finger injuries. Using the wrong tools for the job or using the right tools in the wrong way can result in a serious hand and finger injury. The secondary way to avoid injury is to wear gloves that are specific to the job that is being performed. Each specific hazard will have gloves that are designed to protect against that hazard. Be sure to wear your gloves on a regular basis as you perform your work tasks. Hand protection can be changed easily enough to match the hazard. Do not be tempted to go with the gloves you have on if the hazard changes. Let's say you are sweeping or performing basic housekeeping tasks, and you realize that you have to pick up a jagged piece of scrap. The basic work gloves you are wearing will not be cut resistant. Stop, reassess the hazard and hand protection, and get the right gloves to match the hazard. Successful hand injury prevention requires your commitment and participation. Be aware of job tasks, equipment, and materials that can create a risk for a hand injury, and know the steps that should be taken to prevent exposures and injuries. All machines consist of 3 fundamental areas: the point of operation, which is the point on the machine where work is performed; the power transmission apparatus, which consists of all components of the mechanical system which transmit energy to the part of the machine performing the work; and other moving parts that move while the machine is operating. Each of these components can present hazards that have the potential to cause severe workplace injuries, such as crushed fingers or hands and amputations, and require safeguarding by machine guards or other safety devices. Their purpose is to protect the machine operator and other employees in the work area from point-of-operation hazards, such as ingoing nip points, rotating parts, flying chips, and sparks. Simply put, if there is the potential of an employee coming in contact with a piece of moving machinery, it must be guarded. Machine guards are physical barriers that prevent contact. They can be fixed, interlocked, adjustable, or self-adjusting. Safeguarding devices limit or prevent access to the danger zone. They can be presence-sensing devices, pullback, or restraint devices. Can you detect the hazard in this scene? The employee is bypassing a machine guard. Machine guards and safeguarding devices play an extremely important role in injury prevention. However, many injuries have occurred because someone bypassed a machine guard or safeguarding device. They cannot protect you if they are disabled, missing, or not working properly. Never reach around or through a machine guard. And if a machine guard or safeguarding device is not working properly, report it to your supervisor and do not use the machine. If any machine guards or safeguarding devices need to be removed, you must follow the proper lockout tryout procedures in order to prevent exposures to serious injuries. And be sure they are reinstalled before the equipment is placed back into service. Proper guarding on machines and regular inspections to ensure the guards are not compromised are fundamental to prevent the exposure to danger zones. Having an understanding of how a machine works and how the guards can protect you will result in a reduced risk of injury. Protecting your fingers and hands is important for your work and quality of life. Everyone must do their part to watch out for pinch points, ensure the machine guarding program is effective, and wear the right hand protection for the hazard. Be proactive. Think about the hazards before doing the job. In case something goes wrong, where are your hands? Make sure your hand placement is safe and all machines are properly guarded.